All right, we are back this midday. I'm Kara Sewell alongside Cassie Hyder as we talk about the storms that are moving into the metroplex. Really, they're now covering the metroplex, and you were telling me that they're not moving particularly fast.
They're not really moving all that fast, no. I mean, it seemed faster. Earlier this morning, it's been kind of wobbling back and forth between moving at about 60 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, slowing down to about 25, but right now, say about 30 to 35 miles an hour. So it's not moving fast, which is a problem. That's why we've got the flooding.
And that's why we've been talking to our reporters who have been out in the field and, TxDOT, the Prosper Fire Chief, because of the high water concern.
Yes. And some places already seeing, a couple of inches of rainfall, and we could still see more this afternoon. The good news is now that we've got the heaviest of the thunderstorms moving right through the metroplex, that will eventually put an end to that severe threat for later today. So eventually that severe threat will just kind of push into parts of East Texas. So that's going to be some good news for us. But until we can get these storms out of here, it's going to be a little bit of a mess outside. You can see all the flash flood warnings. You can see all the lightning. We have thousands of customers without power right now. Very heavy rainfall. It's loud. I know that rain is coming down. Flash flood warning continues for Cook, Grayson, Montague counties until 1:15 this afternoon. Looking kind of back, we've got Jack and Wise counties under a flash flood warning until 12:30. The good news is the rain doesn't look nearly as heavy as what it was earlier today, but we've also got some of this rain trying to lift to the north a little bit. You can see these thunderstorms right over the Dallas and Fort Worth metroplex. They continue to push off to the east. And what I like to see here is notice this line of storms that's kind of out ahead of that main part of the storms. That's going to be an outflow boundary. And when you get an outflow boundary, as that continues to move off to the south and east, that severe threat, it really goes down for anything behind it. And most of us are going to be behind it at this point. So yes, we've got the flash flood warning, some very heavy rain and lightning, but as far as tornadoes, not concerned about that anymore, especially over the Dallas metroplex, but off to the east, that will still be a concern this afternoon. Parts of Parker County still under a flash flood warning. We have scattered showers and storms all over that county. You can see Weatherford seeing some very heavy rain and lots of lightning. As far as velocity, I like to look at this also to see where the strongest wind is. And right now, I mean, we're trying to look for that brighter green. And yes, it's kind of bright on there, but then we look for the teal colors. And that's when you're going to see maybe wind gusts as high as about 50 miles an hour. And I'm just not seeing that anymore. So that's good news. Even better news, this is not a big hail event. I'm not seeing anything really that's looking like we're seeing a big hail by any means. We could still see some pea-sized hail, pockets of that, especially around just south of Benbrook. Look at how heavy that rain is from Fort Worth down to Benbrook, down to Granbury, all the way down to even just south of Glen Rose. And these thunderstorms are getting pulled into the main complex. So just again, very heavy rainfall. But the tornado watch goes until 5 o'clock, and that is going to be for our northeast counties. So again, that's just going to continue to move off to the east. Once you get that main line of heavy thunderstorms moving through, that's eventually going to put an end to that tornado threat. But the flood watch continues all the way through tomorrow morning because the rain just doesn't have anywhere else to go at this point. We're also noticing that the SPC, or the Storm Prediction Center, that puts out the risk of severe weather, they've actually moved the enhanced just off to the east. Technically, it includes Dallas, but it's going to be out of here pretty shortly. In fact, we don't have any more risk for severe weather in behind that for some of our northwest counties. But looking at this afternoon, we're still going to see some additional showers and storms, but putting an end to that severe threat across the metroplex probably after about, it's 11:47 right now. I'd say after 1 o'clock, we could still see some rain, but that severe threat is going to go way down. Later today, though, into this evening, we're still going to have rain and storms across just to the south and east, but we're going to stay cloudy across the metroplex. Overnight tonight, it's going to be very quiet for most of us as these storms continue to push off to the east and eventually into parts of Louisiana and Arkansas. So for tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to see some clouds, but it's going to be dry. That's the exact opposite of what we got going on right now. Very heavy rainfall, temperatures struggling to make it out of the 70s. Overnight tonight, we're dropping down into the 60s. Tomorrow, though, temperatures back in the mid-80s, partly cloudy. Rain and storms return on Friday, but really not seeing much of a severe threat there. And this weekend, it's trending much drier. Looking at Mother's Day, so looking at the second half of that 14-day, it looks very warm. Few chances of rain, but on Mother's Day, no chance of rain for now. And we also have a lot of traffic starting to back up as well with the heavy rain. Brianda, how's that looking?
Oh, it's looking slippery out there. So if you are heading out the door in Melissa, Melissa, so this is Collin County. This is what the roadways are looking like. Their wet visibility is low. This is 75 at Melissa Road. And if we go south on 75 towards Dallas, it actually looks very, very similar too. I did have a camera there for you, but another area where I am seeing some delays and some big issues are in Denton County. So, for instance, there is a closure to an exit, a 35 on 35 right at University Drive. It is affecting those southbound exit to University Drive. So, heads up there for you guys. I do have good news. Although it's still raining out in this area of North Lake, there is an accident that just cleared. It was southbound at 35W at FM 1171. So let's see if we can get those cameras back up for you. This is a live look at Loop 12 and Singleton. So you see that rain coming down. Roadways are pretty wet there. I do see ponding on several roadways across North Texas. And we are also seeing this. So this is a report of a disabled vehicle that is blocking multiple lanes at 20 near the Trinity River. So earlier it was a lot drier out on the roadways in that area, but now it has definitely picked up and it has slowed traffic down. So traffic is actually backed up for about 4 miles there, all the way back to 175. So if you are in that area, just a heads up for you there. For now, we are going to toss it on out to break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.